want you to do that too. Go get that from Mia.
Allison has a question.
Boom.
When you were talking about the avocado, where's Allison?
Okay.
Anyway, when you were talking about avocado, she was saying, well, what about, you know how you go to the store and you get that guacamole? I was like, well, I don't think that's the same because they put stuff in that. So I said the fresh avocado is better. You know, she was wondering, is that the same? Could you use that like avocado?
Well, see, that's the challenge. We don't know what's in stuff.
I guess
We need to start preparing more of our own food.
That's why they do it.
We need to start preparing more of our own food because we don't know. I mean,
Well, it should have been darker, really.
they're making this stuff to taste good. So like, I want to do one quick test, real quick. This is important.
Oh my God, yes.
Who's been to a
a
restaurant, you know, lately, and the food was really good?
Been to a restaurant lately and the food was really good.
Yeah, food was really good.
Dark is excellent.
No, okay.
So you're good.
Yeah, the food tastes good.
You're not
Tastes
sick.
good. Okay, you probably know the answer.
What you say, Mrs. Z?
I want to know somebody that went to a restaurant and you know they had a meal or whatever and the food tastes good. That was you. Okay, what did you have?
Oh my. I had a turkey burger with some sweet potato fries, and that was it.
Okay, that tastes good. Okay, well, no, there's a lesson here. That's not the best example.
Oh.
But,
what Boomy had?
okay, let me go with Boomy. She might not know.
What you had?
Oh, I had Chinese food.
Ooh.
And B.F. Chang's, and it was some kind of beef, rice and broccoli, Szechuan beef,
Beef, rice.
sauce, of course.
Okay. It tastes good?
And it was real good.
Very good.
No, it's Mongolian beef.
Okay, those beef, rice, and what else?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay. Let's go with the good stuff first. Broccoli. Broccoli tastes good, right? And you eat it raw, don't you?
That wasn't raw, but I do.
Yeah, but you eat it raw and it tastes really good. Okay, so you know what broccoli tastes like. Okay, and then you have beef. Right? You had beef,
Yeah.
and you know what beef tastes like?
Raw? No.
Okay, yeah. So they cooked it and then they did something else to it to make it taste some kind of taste that you know of. Because you don't know what it tastes like. Because raw, you don't know what it tastes like. Okay, so, but it was good. So they took the beef and they made it taste good. And what else you had? Rice. And you know what bowl of rice tastes like? Okay. And would you say a bowl of rice is good? Yeah, plain rice, just cook it and without putting anything on, just rice. You think that tastes kind of good? Is that plain or does it taste?
It's bland, but if I put butter and salt.
Brown rice is good.
My point is this, we go out to these restaurants and places and say, oh girl, you gotta go here because the food was so good, I had such and such. It wasn't the food at all.
It was what they put on.
It was the condiments of what they put on the food. See, we gotta be careful about that because that's a lot of the poison and what they put on the food to make it taste good. And salt makes stuff taste good because we're used to that. It's just too much of it. But when we get to desserts, sugar tastes good. I had some at the family reunion yesterday, and I know it tastes good because they have a chocolate cake this high with a lot of chocolate on it, and the inside was all chocolate. And I took a piece. I ate it. And it tastes good. I can't wait to get back home to clean it. But it tastes good.
Yeah.
See, and this is why people buy this stuff. They don't care that it's poison.
Yeah.
They don't care that, you know, it depresses your immune system.
Yeah.
You know? And you eat the wrong stuff the wrong time, depress your immune system, and here come that disease. Now you defenseless,
That's right.
and you wonder why you got a cold, or you wonder why you got this. That's why you got to take responsibility. Sometime in the future, I'm going to start writing. Probably the first thing I'm going to write is a booklet or a pamphlet, the 10 do's and don'ts. And somewhere down the road, I got this book in me, been there for a long time. It's called The Art of Eating. The Art of Eating. There's an art to eating.
I believe that.
We don't have a clue about eating, you know. We eat based on taste. And there seems to be some correlation between taste and getting sick.
Hey.
Yeah, taste and getting sick. So, if we knew how to eat, I would say to you, we probably wouldn't get sick. Because I believe this, God didn't make us to get sick. You know, why we keep getting sick, God didn't make us get sick. I'll tell you why. Because I went to a seminar for Pastor George Malcolm. He said, the reason that we keep getting sick because, and he put his hand out like that, and he took a big knife, and he said, if I cut my hand, it will almost immediately, the blood will clot and it will start to heal. But if I cut it again the next day, and the next day, and each day I keep cutting that same spot, it can't heal. He said, if we stop cutting, we will heal. If we stop cutting our hand, we will heal. We're cutting it with a fork, not a knife. See? God is still in the healing business. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. He helped me because I'm doing my best to stop cutting. Now, I cut yesterday, but I ain't going to cut again today, you know. So if we learn how to eat, we'll be healthier, you know, and won't have the pain and sickness, because the degenerative disease, you know, every other person will get cancer, diabetes, or heart disease. And I'm being generous by saying every other person, because I just named 3. When you get to the heart disease, every other person is going to get one of those. Not to mention, every 3rd person is going to get cancer. Cancer is trying to catch up with heart disease fast. And diabetes, what's going on with that? Everybody and his brother trying to get that. I mean, that's just like, especially in the health community, that's just like, hey, what's up, man? You with that? I got this. You know, you getting it? You want this? I mean, it's like everybody's getting that. And that's that correlation between diabetes and obesity. They rise together. I believe they can fall together. If we change our eating habits, take responsibility for our health.
So I have.
Oh, go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, so I just wanted you to share your daily regimen, like what is it that you eat on a regular basis.
Okay. Okay. My daily regimen. When I get up, I take my blood pressure. Same time, about noon, same place. Then I go to the bathroom, urinate. Then I go to the kitchen. I drink a half a quart of water. And then I pray. And then within the hour, I drink the other half. So I drink a quart the first hour or 2. I just got to get the cleansing process working. Okay. Then for breakfast, I eat cold cereal. Tony, you should ask me what kind, because it's hard to find some cold cereal.
Well, I'm a health coach, so I know it's available.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And then,
Ezekiel 4.
yes,
I eat-
I'm very familiar with that.
I do the Ezekiel, or I found some shredded wheat. No sugar and no salt. And low,
And what are you
Yeah.
using, almond milk?
I use almond milk or coconut milk.
Unsweetened.
Oh, they're absolutely unsweetened. Only 45 calories.
Are you against rice milk?
Fresh milk?
Rice.
Oh, no,
Rice.
rice milk is fine.
Okay.
Rice milk is
And,
good.
you know, I'm thinking, I'm sure you can attest to this as well. You know, I share with my clients that health is not a size. You have a lot of people trying to be a certain size. I know a lot of people that are 2s and 4s and they're sick.
Yes.
Health is a state of being, like what
Yes.
you're teaching us today.
Yeah.
So, you know, it takes the pressure off of trying to be a certain size.
That's
Looking
right.
at people and saying they're not healthy because they're a certain size. It's not true. It's a
Tony, I'm
myth.
glad you brought that up because I'm reading a study right now. It's called The Psychology of Health. The Psychology of Health. It's kind of deep. Let me just touch on that a little bit because this guy is teaching, look, whether you are skinny, plump, fat, overweight, whatever, you don't, that is not you. That is not who you are. You just fat or whatever, but that's not who you are. And don't let that, you know, impede on who you are. Because you are still great no matter what shape or size that you are. And in America, when you ask women, 98% are unhappy
Yes.
about their image.
Yes.
98%.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost like all of them.
Absolutely. That is very true.
98%. They're unhappy about something about their image.
Exactly.
And that's a recent survey. So this psychology of health, it's about, you know, the mind, you know, of health. It's all about, you know, the principles of healthy eating and living, but we have to put the mind paradigm in there because that's who we really are. Because we're this shape or we're that shape, that's not who you are. That's just your shape.
Right.
But see, getting back to what Tony,
What was it?
I was a little piggyback on what Tony said. We also saw a film where they were comparing, it was brothers and different people, and this little boy, even though he was skinny on the outside, when they got on the inside, remember?
Yeah, that's
He
a
was-
whole nother
That's a whole
story.
thing.
Because
He
you can
was-
be fat, have a lot of fat on the inside.
inside and still be skinny on the outside. That's getting back to what she was saying.
That's because you notice these skinny people get sick.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Right.
Yes, they did.
Right.
It's called fatty liver disease. A lot of people don't know that they have that. Your body makes deposits around the liver. So you can be externally lean, but internally you carrying, when you're doing triglyceride breakdown because you have a diet high in fat or some sort of comorbid disease process going on. The other thing that segues, people don't really focus on the holistic approach is mind, body, and soul. And therefore, at that point, whether you large, lean, whatever it is your physique is, your mind has to be right.
That's right.
And that's also a journey and a process for weight loss, is getting your mind prepared. So I have people where I see at different ends of the spectrum. Robin Williams, prime example. You know, mental health. Our company don't invest a lot in our mental health. When someone is mentally ill, they're hidden, or people don't talk about it, and there's not a lot of help or resources, or people don't know how to cope with it, even the family members. So I just think if we all took it from a holistic approach, these issues with obesity to depression to suicide, that's a whole nother gamut can be something that, you know, you can work on or fix.
Let me just piggyback on what you were saying about Robin Williams. I read an article from the organization Hallelujah Acres. The article said that
Rehabilitate.
Robin Williams, he had
A toxic.
a health problem.
Yeah.
That because he was toxic from the drugs and the alcohol and all, he couldn't function right and make right decisions because he was so toxic. Because there's only two. There's in terms of disease, you're only going to die from one or two ways because the disease is caused by toxicity or mineral deficiency, nutrient deficiency. That's what, at the end of the day, those are the things, one or two things that kills you. But I thought that article was quite interesting, you know, to learn that mental disease, there's a relation to mental disease in your physical disease that you have. People don't put the two together. Very rarely they put the two
Can I
together.
just add something to that? This brought back to home with, I had a patient in the ICU. We could not treat his underlying disease because he was a long-term alcoholic. So once the body is used to that environment of constantly giving yourself that, it thinks that's this way of maintaining balance. The body's goal is to maintain homeostasis, which is balance. The yin, the yang.
Survival.
Survival. And so we wind up having to give this man a beer.
Wow.
Like almost like we even do, like I work for NIAAA right now. We're doing a lot of studies with alcohol infusions where we literally infuse alcohol just to see how the body, there's a lot of people with insomnia, they can't sleep after, you know, coming off of alcohol is part of their main thing that they do all day. To these kids using that new synthetic drug causes chemical imbalances. So there's going to be a lot of mental health, a lot of diseases going on just from the way that we're looking at our youth. When you look at the projection of health for America, it's not good.
It's not good.
Somebody else had a question.
I just wanted to get back. I know that this number, the 62% of black women overweight, that number really disturbs me. It really does. And it does because I come from a lineage where most of the women in my family are overweight. By the time most of them were, 29, 30 years old, they already had high blood pressure. And they were on their way to diabetes and ended up, dying very early from heart disease or something like that. So I don't necessarily think that the issue is skinny or not skinny, but I have never seen a person who eats well and takes care of themselves and they are overweight or big. I've never seen that. So is that something that you've seen or something that is out there? Because I'm not, my whole part of my assignment is encouraging women, no matter who they are. When I'm in the gym, it could be someone I don't know. If I see you doing something not right, or if you just want to talk to me about getting started, I am totally open. I love that. I want to encourage you. But at the same time, I don't want us to use that as an excuse. And I think that some of us do that.
Tammy, that's an excellent question. So you're asking, have I ever seen a person who really takes care of themselves and do all basically the right thing, and they're still, way overweight? No, I would say on the other side, that's probably the exception. But what I would say to that is that history is the greatest teacher. Women wasn't always like that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, if that's the case, let's go back and find out. We stopped eating at home. We stopped preparing meals at home. We don't pay attention. Mother used to pay attention to what went into the food. Now the food industry is paying attention to what goes into the food. And their attention is what tastes good. That was my point, Fumi. What tastes good. It's all about taste. It's all about taste. Now, tell me, I fully believe that if women change their way of thinking, because it goes with the mind first, their way of thinking, and start to take responsibility for their health, forget about diet.
Right.
It ain't about diet.
Right, exactly.
If you get
It's a lifestyle.
a healthy living, lifestyle got a lot to do with it, a ton to do with it. You would lose weight, you would get back to where you're supposed to be, and you wouldn't be, obese. That can be turned around. But when you got the food industry and everybody's selling these super sizes, and they're working on the kids, you got a fight on your hands. You're going to take this big thing away from somebody and give them what they used to get. I want you to get this. Now they got this big thing Before they used to have the smaller thing. They got this big thing now. Now the big thing is now.
And most of us feel like we gotta finish it.
Right. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that we got bigger people now. That's what I'm saying. And we used to have smaller people. See, we used to get smaller sizes. They make plate size larger.
Right.
I reduced the plate size in my own house. Because, you know, you can trick yourself, you know. If I want to have seconds, I have seconds. 2 small seconds. You know, well, I mean, you got to figure this thing out, man. You got to take responsibility because, you know, food tastes good, you know.
Yes, it does.
It does, and they...
To me, some people, you have different body weights or body styles, I think. I don't think you have some women that will never be skinny because, I mean, they can still be healthy but never skinny because they don't have that kind of body structure.
That's true.
But that's why it's not about being
That's the
skinny.
point
We're not
I
talking about being
wanted to make
skinny.
because I'm really big on dispelling myths. You know, by the time I host radio for Radio 1 in Baltimore, I get calls all the time. By the time they get to me, like you said, the mindset and the self-image is so torn down, so I have to dispel all of these myths about weight and size. And when you were talking about obesity, is it possible for somebody to eat healthy and still be obese? That depends on what you call obese. Because when I go to the doctor, I'm almost morbidly obese according to their schedule. And I said, not so. Not so, because like you said, body type, frame, and yes, you can eat healthy and still have meat on your bones.
Right, and there's, you know, there's always exceptions.
Right, exactly.
Always, absolutely, always
And then
exceptions.
it was another point you talked about what we do with food and constantly eating and things like that. What I also teach is there are other things that nourish us. Most of us aren't starving from food. We're starving from love. We're starving from things that bring us joy. You see what I'm saying? But we satisfy all of it with food.
That relationship with food.
Your relationship with food. I mean, another thing that we do for the last 50 years, I mean, we eat all the time.
All the time. We eat when we're sad, when we're
50 years,
happy.
60 years ago, I mean, we ate breakfast, we ate lunch in school, we ate dinner at 5:30. And we did that all the time. Your body get used to that all the time. And you know, I don't remember eating a lot of snacks in between, but now, you know, we don't have the dinner, we don't have this, and you know, we fast food. You know, fast food. I mean, the food nowadays is really not even fast anymore, and it's still poison. You know?
Right, it's not fair.
Not bad, but you know, to round this off, God, if you can only understand that, hey, at the end of the day, it is up to me. You know, if I want to be healthy, and if I don't want to, my way I put it, if I don't want to be sick, I got a choice. See, in our society, sickness has become accepted.
Yes.
I refuse to accept that.
Yes.
See, when you accept it, okay, well, here's my seat. I'm next. And, you know, my turn.
Yeah.
My turn. Somebody else, you can have my seat because it ain't my turn. You know, my turn. And what I'm saying is, it's really, I see this as relatively simple. It has become simple to me. I didn't say easy, but the solution is really a simple process, because if you do A, B, C, cause and effect, you're going to get some results.
Yes.
See? But you got to do A, B, C. You know, you got to get back to lifestyle, you know, a certain lifestyle. We got an unhealthy lifestyle. And, you know, in many ways, not just the eating, you know, our daily regimen. I'm becoming kind of big on regimen. I kind of like doing the same thing, you know, figure out a number of the same thing and do those. I was reading a book and it was saying multitasking is not necessarily a good thing. And like when you get older and you multitask, you forget all of the other stuff.
We forget about baby, what we gonna do?
But what I'm finding out is you don't have to be older. And you're forgetting all these things, you know, because, you know, you kind of organize your life a little bit, you know. So you can have, and you can get stuff done, but you gotta organize.
Hey, listen, we're all enjoying this conversation. I want to move to the juicing so we can do that and we can still talk while we get that going on.
Absolutely.